Hey everybody, it's end of the year. Can you believe it? 2020 is almost over. Thank God for small things. But seriously guys, we're coming up on Christmas and New Year, and a lot of drivers are going to go home. They're going to go home for the holidays. And it's also a time of year when a lot of the charitable organizations really rely on giving. Typically, this is a big time of year for them. People come up on the holidays, they want to give money, some for a tax purpose, some because they just want to feel good, which is fine. But one, how do you pick who to give to? So the rule I use is, what's impacted my life and my family the most? So for us, faith, charities, faith-based charities, veterans charities, and trucking. I've been in the trucking industry since 1997. So it's had a pretty big impact on my family. But here's the thing, guys. Not a lot of people are going to help us out. Not a lot of people like truckers. Not a lot of people think about truckers. As a matter of fact, the trucking industry as a whole has a perpetual black eye, and we do it to ourselves. And we get no help or no love from the media or from the entertainment industry. You know that. You know that for the movies and the new show that came out on ABC, Big Sky. You know how it is. So who's going to help you if you get sick, get hurt, seriously hurt, or die on the road? Who's going to help you if your family falls a really hard time and is struggling to pay bills or not getting foreclosed on? There's two organizations that will help you. Guys, there's the St. Christopher Truckers Relief, and then there's Truckers Final Mile. Both of those are good organizations for drivers. Now, the St. Christopher's is more well known. I see their stuff more places, but what's lesser known is Truckers Final Mile. Now, they help get spouses to injured drivers. They help injured drivers and critically ill drivers get home, but they also get deceased drivers home. Did you know there's not a regulation for a company to get you home if you die on the road? That's right, guys. You could be under a load, and you could be 1,000 miles, 2,000 miles, 2,500 miles away from home. You could pass away in the truck in your sleep. You can get run over in the parking lot. Now, it's kind of a morbid thought, right? But it happens. You could die in an auto accident. Hijacking. Why do you think we got Jason's Law? Poor guy's trying to get somewhere to sleep because there's not enough parking. He got killed. So it happens, man. And data's been released, and it shows trucking deaths are on the rise again. Now, you might say, my company will get us home. Are you sure about that? Do they have a written policy in place that you can point to say that? Or is it just rumor and conjecture? Some companies will. Some companies have their own relief fund. The company I currently work for does. Employees can donate to it, and they just recently put a statement out showing how many families they helped over to various companies under the umbrella. That in the amount of money and the number of people that they've assisted this year. It's not a shabby number. So Truckers Final Mile, guys. According to a CDL Life article the other day, Truckers Final Mile has brought over 50 deceased drivers home. They're setting up college funds for kids whose driving parent has passed on or is too critically injured to continue to work. Also, they have sent Christmas presents to kids of surviving children of drivers that have passed away on the road. Think about it if you're on the road and something were to happen to you, and your family, your loved ones, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a sibling, whether it's a parent or a child, and they've got to figure out how to get your body home across 5, 6, 7 states. Maybe from the opposite coast. Maybe you're in Canada. A lot of us go to Canada, guys. A lot of us that live in the U.S. go to Canada. A lot of Canadian drivers come to the U.S. How are you going to get home? Who's going to get you home? What kind of burden is that going to be on your family? You think, well, I've got life insurance. Well, wait a minute. It could be days or even weeks before life insurance policy pays out, and you're literally on ice until then. And now your family's got to grapple with how to get you home and how to do the funeral arrangements. And all that time, they got to sit and wait. They can't have any closure. So, guys, this year, a lot of your charitable organizations are suffering. As drivers, there's over 3 million CDL holders in the United States. As drivers, some of us have been impacted by the shenanigans with this virus. A lot of us have not. A lot of us have done okay. Some of us have done better. Some have done a little worse. But as a whole, as a community, collectively, we have done about as well as we did the previous year. We can't rely on our companies to get us home if something were to happen to us. A lot of companies, especially small companies, are on shoestring budgets. A lot of them are only a couple cents a mile profit. Some of them aren't making any profit. They're just buying time, buying debt upon debt upon debt, hoping to survive until things get better. So you can't rely on your company. So who does that leave? Aflac? I don't even know if Aflac has a policy to do that. Sure, an accident policy might help pay to, you might get enough money to get you home off their accident policy, but do they even have a policy to bring your body back if you die on the road? I don't think they do. I don't know anybody does, quite honestly. If you're facing foreclosure, you've been hurt on the road and you've lost significant income because of your injury or illness, despite that you might have an accident policy or an critical illness policy, despite the fact that you might be on maybe work comp or disability, that you still lost significant income. And quite possibly your spouse has had to either leave their job or are on reduced hours to take care of you as a sole caretaker. And you might be facing foreclosure. Who's going to help you? Yeah, think about that. Sometimes your friends and family don't have the availability or the assets to help you more than maybe a month, maybe 2 months at most. So who's going to help you with those bills? That's right, guys. No matter how critical you are to the nation's economy, you're still expendable. It's a sad truth of it. It is kind of morbid. I know. But it's something to consider, something to think about when you're thinking about your donations. I encourage you. Over 3 million CDL holders in the United States. It wouldn't take a lot of money per month to be able to fund these two organizations for a long time to come and be able to help far more drivers than they currently do. Now, as 501c3 organization, Truckers Final Mile, matter of fact, they post their IRS filings on their website, so you can go look at it and see exactly how much money goes to the charity and how much money goes to the board. Yeah, I don't know about the St. Christopher's Fund. I don't know if they do. I hear more about them, and I see that they do get more sponsorship than Truckers Final Mile. But think about the number of drivers passed away in the last year. Think about how FMCSA has admitted that more drivers have died last year than before, and the year before that. It's sharply on the increase. Think about it. Not a lot, guys. We're not saying that you got to give $20 a month. We're not saying 40, 50, or $100 a month. What if it's 5? What if it's 2? Right? Think about it. Think about how it would impact your family if they were the ones that were needing the charity. That's right, guys. It's not always about us.